So a while ago, I came up with this totally original idea of redesigning characters from the infamous game Yandere Sim. As you can tell, never got around to doing it. I procrastinated. I'm going to be brutally honest with you. I got lazy and I didn't want to do it because I knew I was going to be overly ambitious when I was designing the characters, how many I was doing, and etc. Like, I had a Pinterest board dedicated to ideas that I want to incorporate into the characters. I drew all the characters out already and I was trying to get feedback on the designs from various people. But then I realized that it takes me a while to draw. I mean, the speed paint that I did in this video took me over 7 hours for some reason. That shouldn't be needed for some mediocre anime art. I don't know why it took me that long, but I knew if I was going to redesign all the rivals, it would be like a 24-hour video at that point, even more than that. So I decided that I would just cut it down to one character, and the character that I'm going to be doing is called RAIBARU. She's the first rival of Sana's best friend. I feel like her character design had a lot of potential behind it. I mean, she seems like she could be a very interesting character, but literally Yandere Dev just used Osana's old model as her model, and you know, I feel like that's lazier than me. So I thought that she's probably the perfect candidate for a redesign, hoping that I can make her a little bit more special and not a direct copy from Osana. But I'm still questioning my final design. So today I'm going to be talking about how I went about redesigning RAIBARU and kind of my personal experience with Yandere Sim because I used to be a huge fan of the game, to the point where I actually made my own OC. Yeah, very dark times. So a small disclaimer before we start. In no way is this video saying that my design is better than original designs or other designs. I just kind of want to have fun with this because I feel like it's also a good opportunity for me to practice character design because you already have an established character with a personality, and I feel like that's a good base to work off. So hopefully we can actually have some fun with this, and you can also hear my embarrassing story of how I used to be a Yandere Simulator sim. Anyways, sit back, grab a snack, and let's get on to redesigning RAIBARU. So I kind of want to talk about my thought process when it came to redesigning RAIBARU. So my main pet peeve with her character design was she looked a little too much like Osana. I get that they're supposed to be best friends and that's why they look so much alike, but I just feel like that's just a lazy way for explaining why you use the old model. I mean, I feel like RAIBARU, she has a lot of character behind her. She was a formal martial arts club leader, so she's kind of a badass, but she's also very cute. I feel like you can incorporate that to design instead of, having this basic generic anime girl. Another thing I focused on was also making the characters still, look somewhat recognizable. I feel like redesigns can get out of hand very quickly to the point where it turns into a whole other character. Sometimes that can be good. You have a bad character design and you can improve it, but other times there's still likable features to the old one and you still need to, try incorporating that. I still want to, keep her pigtails and her orange hair because I feel like those are kind of the most recognizable features, even though those are what kind of make her look like Osana in the first place. So one of the main things I changed was her hairstyle. Instead of giving her high ponytails, I gave her some lower ones. I guess she still looks like Osana. I mean, it was one of my main pet peeves I wanted to fix, but I feel like if you really changed her hair color, for example, it kind of just takes away from her character because I feel like that orange color can also be bright and friendly, but also can portray a very fiery personality. So it kind of suits her in the first place. I feel like I could have came up with a better character design if I just put her in more casual clothing instead of her school uniform. I kind of thought, the character is going to be at school 99% of the time, so you're really not not going to see the casual clothing. I mean, yes, it probably will portray her design better and show off more of her personality because uniforms can be very limiting. So instead of, you know, putting her in casual clothes, I decided to, instead of just like copying one of the already pre-existing uniforms, to just come up with a very generic Japanese uniform. It's nothing special. I tried customizing it to, you know, show her more like outgoing, kind of sporty personality. I kind of like tied her blazer around her waist because, like I said, uniforms can be very limited, but how a character wears their uniform can also show off their personality. Another thing I focused on was the pose. It really kind of helps show like a character's personality in an illustration, not so much in a 3D game. I know in Yandere Simulator, there are different types of like walking styles, like talking styles, and etc. But I don't really think it correlates that much to the character. I feel like it usually reflects the trait that they're assigned to, like social butterfly, introvert, etc. I guess you can hypothetically take advantage of it because on the website there is like images and bios for certain characters, and RAIBARU is on there, but she just kind of has, you know, a generic cutesy anime pose. So pretty much that's all I have to say about the design. I know it's kind of boring. Like I said, I really don't think RAIBARU's design is that bad. I think it's boring, and I feel like it can take advantage of it a lot more. But hopefully if I do continue the series, I can work more with the character's personality and maybe even their clothing. Now it's time for the way more interesting part. The time when I used to be a hardcore Yandere Simulator fan. It's so bad, man. Like, I can't believe that was a phase I went through. I mean, I went through a lot of phases, but I feel like that one was probably the worst. So pretty much, I found the game back in 2016 through the Cub Scouts. I'm sure a lot of you guys probably got into Yandere Simulator by watching his like Myth series, but Jay is a really good YouTuber and I highly recommend him, so I'll leave a link in the description to his channel. So I used to binge watch all of his videos. Like, I had post notifications on it, everything, and would watch them instantly when they came out. I know a lot of people actually found the game through Markiplier and some of those other big gaming YouTubers, but to be honest with you, I never watched their videos on the game, and I'm starting to think that was for the better. But pretty much, I was like really into the game. Like, I also would constantly watch Yandere devs update videos, and I would go on like the website and, you know, like check the blog out. There was like a few artists who, you know, like made comics for the game, so I would read those constantly, and I ended up making my own OC, like I said at the beginning of the video. It's just a recolored version of Ayano. Literally, it's just Ayano with blonde hair. It's nothing special. That's peak character design right there. You might understand why I want to practice my character design now. I'm not sure how many people actually know this, but Yandere Simulator was kind of always in controversy with its development. I know it got like really big this year through like a lot of those commentary YouTubers like The Right Opinion, and I even think some ordinary gamer even reported on it. But I ended up seeing like kind of the true colors of Yandere dev through the YouTuber Asman. So he was a primary figure in like the Yandere Simulator community. He would make a lot of those videos and a lot of people enjoyed them. And I'm pretty sure like he criticized Yandere Simulator and like Yandere dev didn't like it, and like there was like a whole debacle there, and I feel like that just opened up my eyes a little bit. I still was watching like all of Cub Scouts videos and like all the development update videos, but I slowly started inching away from the game. I know in 2019, once again, there was controversy surrounding it. I feel like this was when it started picking up the most steam, because I'm sorry, a video game like this, it shouldn't take that long. I mean, Yandere Dev was getting a lot of financial support for the game. He was also having tons of volunteers help out. So it just didn't really make sense why there would be a lot of issues. And I started seeing that and I was like, you know what, fuck this. I'm not waiting for Osana to come out because I know it's going to take forever, even though it only took a year later. But I was just thinking it wasn't worth my time, you know, bothering with this game. I mean, it was a fun game. Don't get me wrong, like, messing around in a sandbox is pretty fun. Like, it's a time killer, I would say. But when Yandere Dev was, like, talking about how he wanted to focus on it and actually turn it into a game, like, changing it into, like, Lovesick or whatever they were going to call it, and I just realized that, you know what, it's going to screw the game over. The game would have been so much better if he, you know, just used it and messed around, just continue to take donations and not necessarily have like a whole like story or purpose to the game. And I feel like that's what kind of just like screwed it over in the long run, and I feel like it will continue to screw it over. But yeah, I mean, then 2020 rolled around, not going to lie, forgot about the game completely. Then I started seeing it pop up again on my YouTube feed, and I'm like, oh god, they're really going hard this time. And it was funny. I mean, looking back on it now, I kind of realized how toxic it really was. I mean, we were making fun of somebody's face who kind of already had a low self-esteem. You know what I mean? I understand Yandere Dev is kind of a scummy guy. I mean, he fucked up, but it just like, I kind of started realizing, I'm like, maybe this isn't the best thing ever. I mean, I don't even think by, you know, making videos on the game, it was really going to do anything. Like, what, he would lose like a few supporters, but there was people, you know, like actually investing money in this game. They really wanted to see it happen. And I mean, it did. It got its demo. I remember like having someone in a server literally saying, hey guys, Yandere Simulator actually got a demo now. Osana's in the game. And I just thought that was like so bizarre. It took like so many years just to get this one character in the game. And I mean, to be honest with you, it really wasn't that bad of a demo. I mean, I know like people were ragging on it for kind of being very quick, for like taking over 6 years. I know like people were expecting this huge fucking thing, but it's just like, you know what? This is pretty much all we're probably going to get for like the next 5 years or so. So it's better than nothing. For some reason, I have a funny feeling that there's going to be another drama surrounding Yandere Simulator next year. It always happens. It's like a yearly thing. But it's just like the game turned into a laughing stock, and I feel like it's just going to remain that way for like the end of time, even if it does get finished. Another thing I want to talk about was Love Letter. Wasn't that a whole bizarre thing that happened? If you guys don't know what Love Letter was, it was pretty much a copycat of Yandere Simulator, and like the main gimmick about it was that it got like pretty much further than Yandere Simulator in like a couple of weeks or so. And man, it started gaining a lot of momentum. I remember like somebody telling me when they went into like the official server for the game, like it was all just hundreds and hundreds of things of fan art. It was just bizarre to see like this new game just like go so far so quickly. But the thing that I realized is that the game is built on spite. So you pretty much had all eyes on this game and like the game developer, and oh my god, it was like a burning trash fire. It was just like plain trash. Holy like shit. I mean, like, I remember, like, hearing that there was, like, issues going on with the server, like, the moderators weren't doing that well, and, like, they were doing, like, creepy stuff, then, like, the game developer, like, was doing some, like, scummy stuff, like, on par with Yandere Dev, and then, like, the game got announced that it was officially canceled, that the guy turns into a Minecraft YouTuber. It was bizarre, like, that was probably the funniest thing that came out of, like, this whole Yandere drama this year. Like, not even, like, the whole, like, making fun of Yandere Dev's face. It was literally just this guy cutting off all ties with like this game that was so hyped up just to become like a random gaming YouTuber, disabling all of his comments so he doesn't have to deal with people. I guess this was the most interesting version of the Yandere Simulator drama so far. I mean, you even have like Yandere Dev being a VTuber now, so that's interesting. So that's pretty much my personal experience with Yandere Simulator. Is it a good game? No. Is it a bad game? No. It's just very mediocre. It's literally an anime game made in Unity, so that's pretty much explaining everything. So anyways, here is the final design of RAIBARU. I'm still kind of up in the air if I like the design. I mean, let me know what you guys think, but this was actually pretty fun, and this video was just kind of a very nice break from those very constructed commentary videos that I tend to do. So let me know in the comments what you think about my redesign. What are some things that you would personally change about the character? And let me know if you would like to see more of these videos. It might actually regulate my uploading schedule for once. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed, and goodbye.